This is just a quick video giving people some hope for the future. So, Broken Arrow, right, had a massive, massive review bomb. Well, okay, it wasn't as massive as the other review bombs in its history. When they decided to merge the PT branch with the regular branch, that's this one here, and they only brought over a couple of changes and they changed them loads before they brought them in. Now, we can talk about why that might have happened, who might be responsible for that. Honestly, my working theory, which I have a small amount of evidence for, but nothing like concrete, is that the guys who made the PT aren't the same guy who is in charge of Live, and the guy in charge of Live has a massive ego on him, and he's just like, I'm right, I'm right, I'm right. So he took the changes, thanks for the PT changes, ran them through his big ego, and then changed them. And then there was a big negative review bomb, 12%. Not as bad as the one back here, but they used Steam to just nuke that from existence, so it doesn't count in the score anymore. And then they capitulated. They made an apology that wasn't really a proper apology. They didn't say sorry anywhere. They just basically said, we could have done better. I don't know. I don't know what makes people like that. Maybe they teach that in journalism school. Don't apologize. And then they released a patch which added a bunch more things. Now, people have asked me to read out the patch notes. You got to read out the whole patch notes. I don't see the point in that because I am only slightly above average at this game now. Because editing Hippie here, do you want me to read out the whole Broken Arrow patch notes? I link to a poll in the description, a YouTube poll, and it'll just ask, do you want me to keep reading out the whole Broken Arrow patch notes? Because from my perspective, in Wano, I'm one of the best players in the game. Okay, so when I read out the patch notes, I can give one of the best players in the game's insights, right? And I know why certain decisions were made and things like that. Broken Arrow, I'm like slightly above average, right? So do you wanna hear it? I mean, just answer the poll, and then I'll get my answer for next time. I barely play it. 4,000 hours in Wano. It's like a rounding error compared to what I have in Broken Arrow. I have like 41 times more hours, 40 times more hours in Broken Arrow, right? So they added spectator mode, they added a bunch of new things, and people are keeping the pressure on. They're keeping the pressure on. You got to keep the pressure on. The multi-million-dollar company is not your friend, okay? They want money, okay? They're not your friend. People who work at the company might be your friend, but the company itself is actually, you know, it's driven by greed. That's what it is. So it's just the way it's structured. And then they've released another hotfix. So there you go. The game performs better. If you want to see me play the game, right, I do have a live stream of me playing since the most recent patch, right? And that's 3 hours long, and the performance is better. They added a bunch of UI features so you can actually see where your units are going. Did you see that with the blue line? There are some things I don't really like. The AA, like I just can't shoot enemy planes with my AA at all. So plane spam's actually worse because they said we need to fix plane spam. So they made the planes stronger but gave them higher cooldowns. So now it's just more annoying, right? Would you rather be tapped in the face, right, once every 5 minutes, or punched in the face once every 15 minutes? That's the choice you're being offered here in Broken Arrow, and they've gone for punched once every 15 minutes. How about you just make the AA way better, and then make the planes cheaper, and then you can actually counter the plane, but the plane, you get more of them. Anyway, the point I was going to make, do you see how you can see that, right? And there's an LOS tool as well, which I do show off. There's an LOS tool, so that's a shame. On the little, there it is. So they've actually got a good LOS tool like Wano now. So you can actually see the ranges, and you can change the stealth value on it, so it tells you what you can and can't see. Red is out of LOS, and then green is what your recon vision can actually see, and then the blank space is you have LOS but you can't see because your recon isn't good enough. From what I understand, I mean, I might be a little bit wrong on that, but basically it just works like the Warner one. So yeah, the game's cool, and they released a hotfix, which I will read out the patch notes for. Yeah, so basically